Happy lunch hour, gang. All right. So by now, y'all know how ruthlessly they're going after Donald Trump. Don't need to talk about that. Have you heard about, I don't know, Russell Brand all of a sudden being charged with some decades old sexual assaults? Have you heard about Jack Posobiec being put on a hit list by the Ukrainian government, right? Joe's best friends, right? You notice how they are going after some of the loudest voices out there who are, how do you want to put it, disagreeing with the rhetoric coming out of this administration, out of the globalists. Okay? How long till they come for you? How long till they come for me? You and I, we aren't big voices. We're not famous people or anything of the sort. But how long till they come for us? Let me ask you this. Are you one of the 41% of the people in the United States who regularly attends church or some sort of religious service? Okay. Are you one of the people that believes that our economy is going to collapse, that the government may declare martial law, whether talking to your neighbors or online? Okay. Do you have more than one bumper sticker on your car that doesn't say Biden-Harris 2024? Okay. Are you one of the 44% of the American households? Do you live in one of the 44% of the American households that owns a gun? If you answered yes to any of those questions, you may be a domestic terrorist. Have you gone to a school board meeting and disagreed? Have you voiced your displeasure with any of the flags flying that don't have stars and stripes on them? You might be a domestic terrorist. No, I'm not trying to play Jeff Foxworthy here, okay? The government is now doling out millions of dollars. Millions, I mean hundreds of millions of dollars to schools, media groups, church groups, to turn you in to the government for extra surveillance. We all think red flag laws are bad for guns. Okay. How about red flag laws for what you think? Thought crime, right? This isn't a fallacy. This is a fact that the government is now giving money in the form of grants. In other words, doesn't have to be paid back, to organizations to be the thought police. Like I said, schools, churches, whatever it would be. I mean, can you imagine that you pull up in the parking lot on some Sunday morning to go to church, and there's somebody out looking at the backs of all the cars. And like mine, you've got a sticker on the back that says FJB. We're reporting him. Funny part is, it's really ironic that federal grant money is being given to churches to rat out dissidents when Christ himself was a dissident. So the churches are now literally saying, yeah, we'd turn in our own Lord and Savior. Think about that, okay? This is where it's gotten to, that if you exercise your First Amendment rights to speak publicly, whether it's a bumper sticker, whether it's a sign in your front yard, whether it's voicing your displeasure online with the idiot in the White House, whether it's calling out all the hypocrisy from Hollywood or New York or Chicago or Los Angeles or Massachusetts about all the immigrants. If you say anything, you could too be a domestic terrorist. And this government, this administration, wants you dealt with. Now, we've seen the stories of people going into school board meetings and getting thrown out and getting charged. Okay? What if that happens to you? Right now, they're going after the louder voices. Mark my words, eventually it's going to be getting to the smaller and smaller and smaller people. Talk about red flag laws. Remember this, your neighbor could call the police and say, I think he's not quite all there upstairs. And so the police can knock on your door and say, Mr. Jones, we need all your weapons right now. Your neighbor doesn't think it's safe for you to have them. Can you imagine your neighbor? We probably all have some that have different ideologies than we do. Says, he doesn't support Joe Biden. And the police knock on your door and go, Mr. Jones, not only do we need all your guns, but we need you to turn around and put your hands behind your back. Because unless you swear a loyalty oath to Joe Biden, we don't think you're safe in our country. I'm not making this up. This is what's actually going on right now. And this is where it's heading. We look at the aspirations of a lot of these politicians, both parties, on cleaning up the country. We need to get rid of guns. We need to get the assault of your Second Amendment rights. Never going to happen. Okay. The courts are, hey, you know what? I don't care that these two guys stole a car and ran over a police chief and videotaped it and posted it to social media. They won't get charged. Okay. But God forbid, if you say something negative about Gavin Newsom, you're going to jail. Think I'm kidding. The Biden administration just paid $6 billion to release 5 prisoners who they said were erroneously held in Iran. Congress is saying, oh, this is a great thing. Lindsey Graham came out and said, oh, it's always a happy day when people that were unjustly held are freed. Really, Lindsey? Please tell me a little bit about all those people that have been in jail since January 6th, 2021. 2.5 years. Who didn't commit any crimes. About the ones who got 18-month prison sentences for standing outside, never even going into the halls of Congress. And they got sent to prison. Tell me about the guy this morning who got a prison sentence, or it was reported at least this morning, who got a prison sentence for telling people not to go into the Capitol building. And he still got a prison sentence because he was there. That was it. Anybody that was on the square on January 6th, wait, your day's coming. There will eventually be a day when they're going to knock, knock, knock on your door and say, Miss Smith, please turn around and put your hands behind your back. We know where you were 2.5 years ago. You aren't a loud voice. You weren't a loud voice. You were just there. Guilt by association. And that's enough to get you charged, thrown in jail, throw away the key. And that's where we're going. This is straight out of Nazi Germany, guys. As much as we hear all this, oh, we're against the Nazis, we're against the Nazis, Antifa, we're anti-fascists. I mean, we have an administration right now that is using fascist ideology combined with communist ideology to create this new super ideology that is detrimental to everybody. Will it change? Maybe. Don't know. It could be too late. Are elections going to solve this? Maybe. But what happens if whoever comes in next does the same thing? I mean, we've got stories coming out all over the place that the Democrats are scrambling trying to get Kamala Harris off the Democrat ticket for next year. And the rumors are that they want to replace Kamala Harris with Gavin Newsom. Okay, and just so you understand how this one plays out. Dianne Feinstein, who's going to retire, Newsom appoints Kamala Harris to take her Senate seat. Gavin Newsom then escalates to the vice presidency. Joe Biden steps down and Gavin Newsom is the new president of the United States. Okay. It's not that far-fetched. This is the same guy who wants to have a constitutional convention to abolish the Second Amendment. Do you see that we aren't safe? That the elitists, the globalists, the communists, the Nazis, the Democrats, all one and the same, are trying to completely overhaul the United States and turn it into some Marxist hellhole? You and I aren't safe at all. They'll eventually come after us. They've gone after everybody else. They've got Trump on the ropes. Trump's fighting back. Now they're going to start going after any other voice. Who's that going to be? How long does it take till it trickles down to you and me? How long until you're driving back from Walmart one afternoon and you've got a Trump 2024 sticker on the back of your car and you get pulled over by the police, hauled out of your car, handcuffed, and thrown in the back? Don't think it's not possible. It's already happening. It just ain't got to you and me yet. Pinball out.